Fantasy season is here. The NFL has begun, and it is time, everybody. The Fantasy Couriers are proud to be partnered with Underdog Fantasy, the most amazing, greatest daily fantasy sports site. You might have done all their best ball games during the offseason. I have friends that did dozens and dozens and dozens and are still talking about them. Now we're in season, and it is time for Pick'em. You can pick player stats. You can pick highs or lows of various stats within a game. It is an exciting time. You can stack them. There are specials throughout the season that will make the game even more exciting. And to make things better, Underdog Fantasy has an exclusive offer for new customers. Claim your mystery pickup and get a 100% deposit match up to $100 now by signing up on Underdog using the code COURIERS. Once you make that first deposit, head to the Pick'em lobby and find out which player special you get. If you're already a customer, share the code COURIERS to support our amazing podcast so that we can continue to grow with Underdog and have a blast in season with you. Now, on to the show.
What is happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am DJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. And with our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
JJ Wang, can you believe, if you think about it, we are a sixth of the way through the fantasy season. All this hard work we put into the off season, we're a sixth of the way through. It's almost October. The games will start prior, but most of the games will be in October. First 3 weeks have flown by, man.
Well, they've gone by really fast, especially when you haven't been able to watch any. But I will sit down and get to watch a little bit this Sunday, so I am kind of excited about that. But it's every year. I mean, we spend so much time for the season to get here, and then when it does get here, it just flies right on by. With the way my dynasty is going, or my fantasy is going anyway, I kind of wish it was over.
My teams are starting to come around. I had the high score of the week, obliterating somebody that I was finally. I mean, I have the second highest score in the league, and I'm 1-2. I think Adam Rank was saying that. I was watching him last night, saying he has the same thing going on with his best team. I was like, it happens, but cream rises.
Yeah, it happens all the time. It's just like in the NFL. I mean, the Buffalo Bills started out terribly, and now they're kind of finding their stride. Fantasy is kind of the same way. I mean, players need a week or two to adjust, and then cream rises to the top, and then the bad teams that start out good, eventually the cream flows to the bottom too. I guess you're
gonna sink. Rocks float to the bottom, cream goes to the top. Yeah. JJ Wang will not obliterate me like he did the first week of our game.
I don't need the blitz. I mean, who knows? I mean, I did it the first time. There's no need to think it can happen a second time.
Yeah, I think both teams I played got the high score. Didn't you get high score of the week that first week?
I think so, yeah.
I think so. So both teams I played 2 high scores of the week, and then I got it. So we are going to jump right in. NFL is a busy, busy place. Lots of questions, lots of things going on. Looks like Jameis is probably going to start this week with Carr being out. Other guys are still up in the air. Eckler had a limited practice. We'll see closer to games what's going on, so pay attention to the injury report. Try to put something out Sunday. I won't be doing a Facebook thing Sunday because the scheduling on Sunday is kind of wonky and nobody watched it anyway. So if people want to watch it again, tell me and I'll do it. I like doing it, but I'm not going to talk to myself, guys. But then, the other, let's see what else. I'm trying to get big news. We'll get it as we go through, but I got a couple listener questions. First one's a trade question. And the question is, and as I'm sitting here, I'm getting all my people mixed and matched as I do it, but it's a trade question here. And man, I got too many windows open, bud. And my computer. So anyway, here's the trade. This owner has Bijan, Connor, Mostert, Moss, and Pierce. But he needs a wide receiver. He's looking at trading Mostert due to the high value at the moment. Would that be the guy of that bunch you would try to trade for the most value? And who would you aim around? What kind of a player do you think you could get from Mostert?
I mean, honestly, I don't think you're going to get a lot from Mostert. I mean, this guy, he's a 31-year-old running back that's always injured. You never know. I can't imagine a player giving up a wide receiver 3 for Raheem Mostert at this point. You just don't know what you're going to get. Devin Achane might end up with better games from here on out, and Mostert is just a regular RB with a boomer bust game here and there, which he's been pretty much his whole career. He's been good, don't get me wrong, but even though he's been hurt, I can't see you getting a lot for Raheem Mostert at all. I think maybe Pierce, maybe that's I mean, I'm not high on Pierce, but he's still got that name value if you need to get rid of a running back. And he's young, so there's hope there. But I can't see you getting a lot from Mostert. I just can't see it.
You know, like I almost sort of differ. I think Pierce is right now. You won't get much even name value for him. I'm thinking with Mostert, if you're going to sell him, it's now or never. You're not going to sell him after today. He just got 4 touchdowns.
Exactly, 4 touchdowns. You're trading a guy on a 4 touchdown game when he's never really been that guy. I don't know of. I mean, I guess there's fantasy owners out there that would like jump on that. I'm absolutely sure, but I mean, I'm not one of those guys.
Well, that's what I mean. Like I'm not thinking us. Like we're not. I have Mostert because I'm a Dolphins fan, and I enjoyed the points. But I mean, I wouldn't trade
I'm having a hard time with somebody that even pays remotely any close attention to football giving up a good wide receiver for Raheem Mostert. I just have a hard time. I know there's somebody out there that would do it. I absolutely know.
I mean, would you think a wide receiver 3, like a low end wide receiver 3, maybe, or?
Yeah, I mean that's about as low as or high as I would go. It's like I said, I don't know what I'm
Nico
getting.
Collins, Tank Dell.
I could probably see like a Nico Collins because then again, I would think Mostert is better than Nico Collins, but that's not really saying much because Nico Collins would have 1 good game his entire career. I mean, at least the Mostert has been better than that. But yeah,
what about lowly Drake London right now? Drake London's got less than 100 yards on the season. So Yannick, this is for Yannick. Would you think you could? Would that be where you would try? Would you try a Drake London for a Raheem?
I would try. I mean, I would. You could try for every receiver, and you could just try for go down the list and just try for every receiver, and eventually you'll get to that point where somebody says yes. I mean, I think it's Drake London. If somebody's sour on him, I could be like, yeah, absolutely, get rid of this guy. But I mean, it's like I said, it's all who you like.
I mean, I did an article this week. My most recent submission was, who would you try to trade? And I said, trade Moss right now. Trade him.
Oh yeah, I mean, Moss.
That's right. Trade.
I mean, you would have to get like Moss is another good one, but I just have a hard. I wouldn't want that guy either because you're not.
Well, I wouldn't want him. I'd trade him away. If I had him, I'd be selling him right now. I mean, the rumor today, or we record Wednesdays for our Thursdays because of our kids and whatnot. But the rumor is that Taylor's still at an impasse. But at some point, he's going to play because he's not stupid. Well, maybe he says. But as of now, I'm assuming.
What are you getting for Zach Moss?
You're getting more production than he's going to give you when Taylor comes back, which is 0. So they could put JJ Wang in at receiver and get the same amount of production as Moss is going to get when Jonathan Taylor comes back.
I'd probably rather have Nico Collins than Zach Moss, probably.
Yep. So you're looking like wide receiver 3 range for those guys if you really want to shoot for the stars.
If you can't get Nico Collins, I mean, you're getting the wide receiver 4 at that point, right?
I mean, I think James Conner's of those guys. Bijan, you'd get a ton for, but you'd be strapped. James Conner,
you might be able to get something for just because he's got name value and he's been productive. So maybe there, but then you're also getting rid of a running back on your team that's going to be productive.
And the thing also is James Conner, you have to talk up that trade because James Conner, no matter how good he is, nobody goes, man, I want James Conner. He's got that stink, even though he's been spectacular this year. Like I would love to. I think
all these kind of running backs have a little bit of stink on them.
Yeah, but his stink is he's got a weird kind of stink. People aren't like, dude, I want James Conner. He's got that. So yeah. So hopefully I helped you a little bit, Yannick. But yeah, I mean, I
don't think we helped him at all.
I mean, you said you wouldn't take him, but we're talking a lot of people are in like simple redraft leagues for the year, and the guys don't sit here and think and do 52, 56, 5,800 podcasts a year about fantasy football, so they won't trade for him as well. So now we got some double team questions is what I call these. All of these are sort of related to a guy who has 2 problems on team. So Jared, one of our best Midwest supporters, my boy from Regulators Mount Up. He has, and what we learned this week, it is not A-Chain. It's A-Chan. Apparently he called out Peter King is what I was told. So Devon A-Chan just murdered it. He's number 1 RB on the week. If you bet on him this week, you're a rich man. Do you play him this week? What are your thoughts on him this week? Because we got Mostert, who still is their RB1. I'm using the air quotes for a podcast. That's smart. And then you got him. Then you got the two receivers. Waddle's back out of the concussion protocol. So you got 4 weapons. Is Achan's value still there? What are you doing with him? Has he got a legit run with Waddle back? Was Waddle the reason he got more run? Is he going to take over? What do you think?
I mean, I don't know if he's going to take over, but I think you can start him just as much as you could start Mostert at this point. I think they're both probably going to get the same amount of carries, but probably who gets the bigger play. I mean, yeah, you can start him, but I think you got to lower your expectations here. I mean, people are like, "Oh,
not 300 yards,"
and then of course they're got to lower their expectations on Mostert too. 4 touchdowns. I mean, this isn't going to happen. Mostert, I have 80 yards and a touchdown next week, and everybody's going to be disappointed. Well, I'm sorry. I mean, it's still a good week, but.
Yeah,
I mean, you can definitely start Achan or whatever you want to call him. But yeah, I just hope lower your expectations. That's
a flex, right? Like a flex position almost.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would kill for Achan in a couple flex spots right now on a couple of my teams.
I gotta start Sean Tucker. What can I say? So Felipe was asking, he's got a question about your former favorite team, the Houston Texans.
Oh yeah.
What do we do with Schultz? Is he droppable now?
I mean, I wouldn't play him. I mean, if you're not going to play him and your roster is small, I mean, you probably got to drop him because he doesn't seem to be that heavily involved in the offense. So I thought he'd be good too, but CJ Stroud is good without the tight end. So I guess you really don't. Yeah, I don't know if you really will drop him, but it's hard to hold on to 2 tight ends. It's hard to hold on to 2 tight ends on a small roster league. So yeah, I'd say I'd be happy with dropping him.
Oh, can we trust Nico Collins and Tank Dell? They're both looking pretty money. Tank Dell blew it up this week. Nico the first 2, and then Tank's getting touches.
I'm not trusting either one of them. I mean,
I've seen your teams. You might need them.
Yeah, I might need them. That doesn't mean I trust them. I mean, I need a lot of people. I start a lot of people that I don't have trust in. But what am I expecting Nico Collins to get 15 points? No. I mean, if Nico Collins was to give me 9 or 10 points, I'd probably be happy. But like I said, I'm not trusting him at all, but I'll play him.
Okay. Last listener question from Bert. PPR league. He has Najee, and then he backed him up with Jaylen Warren. What in the world does this dude do?
I mean, if you get away, start, but yeah, but I don't know. Just start one of them and hope you pick the right one. I mean, good luck, man. I mean, I'm highly upset about Najee. I don't know what to do with Jaylen Warren yet. I still don't feel like you can start Jaylen Warren yet, even though you really, really want to. And I feel like you kind of keep starting Najee, even though you really, really don't want to. So I mean, really hard to do.
Sadly, if you've got these guys, you're right in that. You're starting Najee because he's getting the touches. He's not doing a lot with them. And then Jaylen Warren's like that guy they're talking up. I mean, there's always those guys. You're like, oh, this is gonna be the greatest guy in the world. They talk about him, and then they don't ever get to play. So they're like, yeah, we're gonna do this with him. It's coach speak, and then he disappears for a while. So it's kind of a intriguing little situation. So let us look at the games for week 4. Give you a little this or that as we go through to head through the games. Thursday night we'll do briefly because this show does air on Thursdays. We have the Lions and the Packers. It looks like we might be getting some people back for the Packers. It's not official yet. Watson might be back. There's a chance that they might have Aaron Jones back. So if we're looking here, there are some receivers that are not named Amon-Ra St. Brown. If you have to start a receiver in that game that's not named Amon-Ra St. Brown, who is it?
That's a tough one. I mean, you would want to start Watson if he comes back because evidently Love is throwing the most deep balls down the field at this point through 3 weeks. And what does Christian Watson do best is run deep. So you know what? If I'm going to say Christian Watson if he plays. I mean, they drafted him in the first round. If he's going to be out there, I mean, we've seen it before. I mean, it just takes one play from him and it's, touchdown. That's what it is. So, yeah, I'm going to go Christian Watson if he plays.
Yeah, then he'll Mike Williams himself and get hurt.
Hey, maybe, but hopefully he gets that one long touchdown before he does it.
My answer would have been Romeo Dobbs. You know me and my Romeo Dobbs love. Oh, Romeo. So we are getting to Sunday, and mark your rosters. Also, a couple things I always hear that people remind us to. So I want to remind you too. If you got a Thursday guy, move him out of flex, move him into your spots, move him into running back, receiver, quarterback, whatever you got to do. Move them out of the flexes on up because they'll be locked.
I never do that.
I did that I'd missed it, and then it did me in 1 week. It's only done me like once, I think. But Sunday there is a 9:30 game. It is the stellar Atlanta Falcons versus the stellar Jacksonville Jaguars. Bleh. Two teams that are under-ish performing as of late. So it's going to be overseas. I'm believing this is London. I just got the leagues pulled up right now, but it starts at 9:30 Eastern. So if you're on the other, you do the math, everybody, wherever you live. So we are looking there at Desmond Ridder versus Trevor Lawrence. What is the chance that Desmond Ridder has a better day? How close to 0 is it? Or is it closer to 40?
I say it's probably pretty close to 0. And if it does, I mean, you can pretty much downfall Trevor Lawrence is going to start. But I think there's pretty much a 0 chance that he has a better day than Trevor Lawrence. Even though he did have a good game 2 weeks ago, but I just don't see it. I hope not. God, I'm praying. I hope not.
This is the game of underperforming receivers, to be honest. You're talking Calvin Ridley, who's pooped the bed since week 1, and Drake London, who's just been pooping the bed. He got a touchdown, but it's still not been great. You have those guys on your roster. You're plugging in some guy you got off the waiver. You only play Drake London or Calvin Ridley. Who are you playing?
I got to play Calvin Ridley. I mean, at least he's shown something, and he's still got Trevor Lawrence at quarterbacks. I mean, they're going to throw more. I mean, opportunities king. So, yeah, Calvin Ridley.
We got the Rams versus the Colts going to the 1:00 slate. It looks like Richardson's back, I believe, from getting his head knocked. I'm not 100%, so just keep an eye on that. We're looking at the game that really is a backup running back game. Kyren Williams is getting touted, but if you look at the numbers, he's touchdown dependent with like less than 50 yards. I mean, the receiving is what's saving his tail. He's like a poor man's Eckler almost, is the best way I can analogize him. And then you got Zach Moss, who's getting bell cow kind of carries. Both those guys you got off waivers. If you're lucky enough to have both of them, but you have like a Bijan in your running back 1 and no flex, which one of those two would you feel comfortable? Kyren versus the Colts, a little bit better defense, or Moss going up against a bunch of guys and Aaron Donald?
I'd probably go Moss. I'm not really satisfied with Kyren Williams. I think Moss has more potential of more carries, more yards, and a touchdown. But yeah, I'd probably go Zach Moss there.
Ravens and the Browns, another 1:00 game, the former Browns versus the current Browns. We are looking at two quarterbacks that are, the running, passing quarterbacks that people have been like, yeah, this week everybody liked Lamar. This week we got what we wanted. Deshaun came back after his dumb play and looked good this week. And then you got them throwing to a whole bunch of just Mark Andrews and a bunch of other stuff. There's of the receivers in that game, we're looking at Moore and Cooper, maybe we're looking at Bateman and Flowers. Which of those receivers has a viable fantasy day?
Sounds great. Let's say Amari Cooper, I guess, because I mean, at least he's been a good wide receiver and he's done stuff in his career. None of these other guys. I mean, yeah, if you want to go Zay Flowers and be brave, be sexy, sure, you can throw Zay Flowers out there, but other than those two guys, I really wouldn't want to start any of them.
That Browns defense is no joke. So if you have Ravens, I'd be a little scared. My answer would have probably been Elijah Moore because he's getting some of the touches there. And does Kareem Hunt get a little more push this week, or are they going full in Jerome Ford?
I mean, I don't know if he might get a little bit more run, but I think it's still going to be Jerome Ford. Jerome Ford didn't get a lot of carries last week. He got a couple of receiving yards and a touchdown. He still played pretty well. But yeah, I don't see him getting a lot of work, but I mean, they'll put him in there.
Vikings, Panthers. Kirk Cousins is going to go bonkers on this Panthers team. Cam Akers is coming in. But last week, Alexander Madison decided to have really the first solid game of his career as a starter by himself. Like he put in a pretty good solid, like what you would want from a week. Like it's no boom, but what you want from your average running back last week. And too little, too late. Is it going to be a full blown committee? Are you worried about that? Are you excited about that? Because we got more Akers than we do Madison.
I mean, I'm not excited because I can't see either one of these running backs getting a lot of work. I feel like to be like a hot hand. If somebody's running well, I mean, they're going to keep with them, and then as soon as they fumble, they'll put the other guy in there, and then they'll run with him until he's not any good. But yeah, I'd probably stay away from both these guys as far as possible from both these guys. Just make sure you got Kirk Cousins.
You're still watching Bryce Young. If Andy Dalton plays, is Adam Thielen a wide receiver too this week? Got to be, right?
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
He was
possibly.
peppered.
I can't say yes. I mean, it was one good game, and I don't see Andy Dalton repeating what he did last week. But I mean, I guess anything's possible. But I'm going to say no.
Bengals at the Titans this week. Joe Burrow limped through Monday night so that he could get a win against the Lambs. Then you got the terrible, terrible Titans, and they're not using Derrick Henry. You got the low running back averages, I guess. I mean, Mixon, he helped me. He got his on Monday with the touchdown. Mixon and Derrick Henry, which one are you more confident in?
I'm more confident. I'll be more confident in Derrick Henry every day of the week. Other than
Even this year?
Yeah, even this year, I know it's been rough sledding, but I mean, I still feel like Derrick Henry's earned at least that. I mean, he had a bad game, probably the worst. Though he said the worst game of his career, which is kind of scary. Hopefully he doesn't hit the wall, but it's very possible. But I'm still confident in Derrick Henry.
Yeah, we're looking at the Bucks versus the Saints. This is the Jameis Winston Bowl. Jameis Winston facing his former team again in the Bucks, and this is a second chance bowl, maybe. Baker. So you need a flex quarterback, Baker or Jameis.
Oh, I'm not starting Jameis at all unless I
Baker, I'm out, right?
necessarily have to. I mean, Baker has at least performed. I mean, he didn't have a very good week this past week, but he's been solid enough as a QB2 to get you through. But I'm starting Baker. I don't want to start Winston at this point.
Alvin Kamara's coming back this week. He's the best running back in the game, right? Rashad White gets touches, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a toss up between them two. I don't know what I'm getting out of Kamari. Didn't look the greatest last year. Then coming off the suspension, I mean, we might see a glimpse here and there. I'll probably go Rashad White one more week before let me see Kamara what he's going to
He'll
do
run
when he
angry.
comes in. Yeah, I guess we'll see. He's punching people, man.
Yeah, take him out. Probably the game of the afternoon, which will be a telling for both teams. Dolphins and Bills. In the grand scheme, which team needs to win more? Just as a regular NFL question. Dolphins to prove it or Bills to bounce up?
Probably the Bills probably need to win more, I would think. I think the Dolphins are I think the Dolphins needed to solidify if they're real or not. I mean, I think I've seen a stat where Josh Allen is like 4-1 against Tua. I think Tua needs to maybe not want to get over the hump, but I think they need to beat Buffalo. I guess I'm going to say Miami needs this win more. I think Miami needs to beat Buffalo to, take control of, the NFC East. And if not, it's still Buffalo's division.
I mean, honestly, I think in this game, if you got him, start him. I don't have anything else about it, to be honest.
Oh, I start everybody. Yeah, you start everybody in this game.
I mean, you're starting down to Gabe Davis. Buffalo tight ends. I mean, you start the two receivers for Buffalo. You start James Cook. You start the running backs for Miami and the receivers. I mean, I think it's a shootout.
I mean, you start the same people you start every week.
Yeah. Well, in this game, there's other games you might, if you had like a Gabe Davis, you might hesitate a little bit. But I'd be tempted to start him this week because just the way the game's going to go.
I mean, that's Gabe Davis's career. Every time you go to put Gabe Davis in your line, you're going to hesitate and have doubt. You're probably going to take him out 3 times before you decide to leave him in. I mean, that's just Gabe Davis in his career. It doesn't really matter. But I mean, like games like this where you figure there's going to be a lot of points scored, but you never know. The final score might be 20-17. I mean, it's an insane.
As long
league.
as it says Miami with 20, that's all that matters to me. Denver and Chicago, do we, or should we just move on?
So I got a question. So I know. So do I start Justin Fields or Josh Dobbs?
I actually, this was my other article submission I did for today. It started out with, is Justin Fields that bad? And I don't know, because I looked at the defenses he played, and they're not top notch, but they're not bad. Could he turn it around versus a defense that just got obliterated? Like, I think you're starting Fields. I don't think you can start top. Like, you're starting Fields. Oh, yeah, it's the 49ers. So you're starting Fields. Yeah. But I could see a bounce back. Like, that was my writer, was what guy would you trade for now? And it's Justin Fields because he's so low. Like, I'm tinkering on a trade for Justin Fields with Kyler Murray for Dynasty.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's about square. Square.
I'm not a Kyler Murray fan at all.
I'm getting Justin Fields. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
a
I mean,
square trade. Like Kyler's valued more on most calculators and whatnot. So I mean, in this game, it's a pretty puke game. What wins out? Defense or terrible defense or terrible offense in this game? I don't even know. Like it's bad.
I don't know. I mean, this is going to be a bad game. Somebody's going to
It's gonna be
explode that you
42
don't
to
expect.
41. You know that, right? We're
I
starting
hope so.
everybody.
I hope so, man.
Your
This is going to be
Manders
bad.
versus the Eagles. Eagles have won, or they're 3-0, but they don't look it. So we are looking at you're starting your standard. Just a real question I got. DeAndre Swift and Brian Robinson are two guys that I think at the beginning of the year no one would say are top 10 running backs. Those are two guys that legitimately could end up top 10 running backs. Which one of them has lasting season power the most, do you think?
I think lasting season power, Robinson, just because he's a bigger, stronger dude. But I think Swift. I mean, like if he stays healthy, and I think this is going to be his backfield, and he's going to perform pretty well in this offense. I think. I mean, it's going to be wide open. There's just weapons everywhere. But I think if you ask me which one's going to get injured first, I'm going to say Swift. But
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I like
Robinson's
both of
injury
them.
was out of his. It wasn't his fault.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. It wasn't his fault. I mean, his
he was in the
fault. He
wrong place,
rolls
wrong
up.
time.
He rolls up to a fast food. No, no, it was a fast
Yeah,
food joint. You get shot, but
to the
whatever.
mall, I
But
think.
yeah, it's crazy.
Steelers and Texans. Um, CJ Stroud or Kenny Pickett? CJ Stroud,
CJ
right?
Stroud. CJ Stroud at this point, I mean, he's performing really well. I mean, he looks better than Kenny Pickett.
Let's make a harder
So,
one. Tank
huh?
Dell or George Pickens? It's
I
closer than
probably
you
go.
want it to be. It's
I'd probably
close.
go Tank Dell. I mean, because
Oh,
I
holy
don't like
cow!
Kenny Pickett right now. George Pickens isn't really doing a whole lot. Tank Dell's like, like the new hotness. I mean, he played decent a game, so sure.
Najee Harris or Damian Pierce?
Oh
This is a
God,
barf game, isn't it?
throw up in my mouth. I mean, Damian Pierce. Nah. Oh God, yeah. Maybe Damian Pierce.
Raiders and Chargers. Mike Williams is down. Is Josh Palmer going to finally step up, or might we hear from Quentin? Like in this team, we got two alphas. You got Keenan Allen. You got Adams. Then you got the leftovers. So Josh Palmer or Myers. Which one steps up?
Josh Palmer or Myers? I'm gonna go Myers. I got to see. I don't know about Palmer. I mean, it's very,
He's let us
very,
down
very
too much,
sketchy,
right?
man. Yeah, I mean, it's very, very sketchy, man. I
You
think
starting
Myers
Donald
is.
Parham?
No, I mean, I think you want to, but no, I can't see the world where that happens.
Cardinals at the Niners. We know what's supposed to happen here. Do the Niners pull the Cowboys, and this is a close game, or is this just as bad as we think it's going to be?
I think this is going to be as bad as it be expected to be, but I mean, they are. They do know each other pretty well. They play each other a lot, so there is that. Those games may be a little tougher, but I just don't see the 49ers letting up like the Cowboys did.
Yeah, you got the
No Josh
Patriots.
Dobbs though.
You got America's teams, Patriots and the Cowboys. Underwhelming Cowboys and the Patriots that somehow will go 9-8. I don't need Dak or Mac Jones.
Oh, I mean, I'm definitely
It's
going with
Dak,
Dak. The
but
offense is better. Mac Jones is not very good. He's out here
any
pitting people in the crotch. I mean, this guy's a dirty, dirty player.
any players on the Patriots that you feel comfortable starting against Dallas's defense? Everybody has a bad week, but they still have Micah Parsons. They're still a good defense. Who are you comfortable starting? I mean, they did.
Well, I mean, you got to ask yourself this question:
Diggs is
Who
good.
are you? Who are you ever comfortable starting on any week on that team? It doesn't matter if it's a good defense or a bad defense.
Ramondre?
Ramondre's not playing. Ramondre's not playing well. Mac Jones is a dirty player that hits people below the belt. You can't like that guy. The receivers are all over the place. Hunter
Terrible.
Henry, maybe Hunter Henry
Died.
just because he's a tight end, but other than that, I mean, you're never excited to start a New England Patriot.
Man, Zeke's getting some touches. We'll see what happens there. Okay, then we go to Sunday night game. Another just poo poo. Like I'm glad Sunday and Monday night games are poo. Sunday night game, Chiefs and the Jets. Are the Chiefs the defense won this week?
It's very possible they could be that team that ends up with another 33, 35 points. There's been a couple of them this year so far in the league, which is normal with defenses. Offenses are really, really bad in the beginning. Defense can really do a lot, but Zach Wilson is absolutely dreadful. It makes me really say thank you to myself for not taking Zach Wilson for that second round pick. That was
Hey,
all.
I got Mike Evans instead of Mac Jones
I feel,
and
I
Zach
feel,
Wilson.
I feel so much better. But yeah, I mean the Chiefs. are going to probably have a field day. I'm just interested in seeing if a chief receiver kind of steps up. I mean, it's kind of like different. I think it's gonna be somebody different every week. Nobody really special. And I'm also going to say that I know it's only been one game, but I'm almost kind of sick and tired of Taylor Swift, like I was
Oh, wow. I was beyond it when it started.
Jessica Simpson and Carrie Underwood back in the day when they were out there hanging out with Tony Romo. It's so annoying. I love Taylor Swift. She's awesome. She's great. But you know what? I'm there to watch football. I'm not a Swiftie like that. So, I mean, good luck, Travis Kelce. Don't let it go to your head, my friend.
Good news is I don't have to watch that. I can celebrate my wife's birthday on the Monday Night Football. Her birthday is Monday the 2nd. And we'll talk before then. But you got the Seahawks and the Giants. The Seahawks who are okay-ish and the Giants who are terrible but coming out somehow okay-ish. There's 2 running games here going on. And then Tyler Lockett pooped the bed. Maybe Saquon plays. He's supposedly going to be back. Maybe. If not, Brady. Like, who do you feel good about? Geno?
I think I'm pretty feel confident about DK's been pretty solid so far. I mean, I don't want to say this is the best stretch of his career, but I mean, this is like the first time in a while that I'm going to go into a week being like, yeah, I'm pretty confident DK is going to give me some points. Geno, I mean, maybe I just can't get on Geno, man. Just
he killed my DFS team last. I came in 26th and 27th in our DFS league because I started Geno DK stack and Geno Lockett stack.
Yeah, I mean Lockett, but you can't get disappointed in Lockett because this is Lockett's career. I mean, if you're disappointed in Lockett for scoring 0 points or 7 points or 5 points, that is your fault for thinking Lockett's going to do more than what he does, every other game. I mean, you've got to be wiser than that, expecting more than that from Lockett. And then, maybe the running back for Seattle.
Kenneth Walker.
Kenny Walker. He might do something, but then he might not. I mean,
I'm confident. I think I'm confident in Walker.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
And DK. This bunch like Walker's. It's weird. Why running back's been kind of. My other question, I was gonna say, do you start Brees on Sunday, or is he a running back 3 now?
I'm going to have a hard time starting Brees until further notice because he's only been good with Aaron Rodgers on the field. Other than that,
Aaron Rodgers on the field for one play. He was good after he left.
26 yards. I mean, it was a great play. But so I can't see anything. I feel gross sticking him in there.
Okay. Then I'll follow up and then you close us out. Brees Hall, we think dynasty a lot. Brees Hall is a top 2 to 5 dynasty player. He's probably slipping a little bit right now. What would you give up to put him on your team in a dynasty league?
Let me just maybe a first plus, maybe if I really want him. Give him if I got like a top 3, top 4, top 5 pick, I don't think I'm going to give it up. But if I got that 8, 9, 10, I'd give him that first and then maybe throw in like a lower tier running back to kind of make up for it a little bit. I mean, it is Brees Hall. They get a better quarterback. I think things have changed. Zach Wilson is just so bad.
Okay, well, give us some wisdom, get us out of here, and let's get ready for week 4, baby.
Yeah, so almost a quarter of a way into the season. Some people start out 0-3, but we know this is fantasy. If you get knocked down 7 times, you just got to get back up 8 because stranger things have happened. Just don't ever give up. You just never know. You can just one lucky guy off the waiver wire, and boom, your season change. So as always, trust yourself and trust the process.